Hello, guys and gals, and welcome to another episode of Unique Items. Today, we're going to be going over another unique item. I make myself crack up. I crack myself up whenever I say that. Unique Items. Today, we're going to be looking at Starfall Coronet, which is pretty OP now. And it was a pretty big item a while back when they first introduced it, but it's overgone some changes that are definitely going to make it more interesting for characters who want to try and play around with this build. Now, basically what they did to it was they kind of updated it with some of the tempering. So as we go over, you'll see it. So Starfall Coronet is a unique helmet, and it does drop from a very specific boss known as a Beast in the Ice, which if you want to farm it, that's a good place to go. On top of this, it also has 126 to 180 intelligence now, which is a pretty nice bonus. And then we also get the very nice 18.5 to 27.5% meteor size, which is going to be really nice. So if you get a greater affix on that, you can definitely make it even bigger. And then we get a 8% cooldown reduction, as well as a +6 to Meteor, which is really nice. And all of this, of course, can get enhanced through masterworking, and you can try and get that 25% roll specifically on the thing that you're looking for. Now, the main effect of this is that Meteor's mana cost is now replaced with a 4-second cooldown. So it goes between 10 to 4 seconds at best, and it has a total of 2 charges. Casting Meteor drops 3 additional meteors around the target and its enchantment, and the enchantment drops an additional meteor, 1 additional meteor instead. So basically, if you're using this particular helmet, you can, of course, get some pretty interesting effects with Meteor, and you'll notice that it just kind of turns into a cooldown. It does gain 2 charges, and when you use it, instead of just having 1 Meteor, you get a bunch of additional meteors coming out instead, which is pretty nice. And it allows you to really get some spamming of Meteor going. On top of this, if you are using the Meteor Enchantment, which is pretty fun, so let's go ahead and throw that in here real quick. If you're using the Meteor Enchantment and you happen to be attacking at a particularly fast rate, you'll also notice that whenever Meteor does happen to proc, you'll get 2 meteors proccing from the enchantment instead of just the original 1 meteor proccing from the enchantment, which is rather interesting. This allows you, obviously, to proc even more meteors than you could before, and there's even more ways that you can use this to your benefit in terms of the meteor's ability. First off, because meteor becomes a cooldown, you can also really reliably utilize something like this, which is protection. Using a cooldown grants 10% of your maximum life as barrier for 3 seconds. And this is going to go up to 20% and then 30%, obviously each time you increase that, and it's going to get even more powerful. And of course, with this particular ability, since you're spamming a cooldown, you're going to get a lot of additional barrier there every single time you spam the cooldown. So you notice my HP here is at 13,711, and then I use my meteor cooldown, and I'm going to get additional barrier, but not unless I'm wearing the helmet. So no barrier. No helmet, no barrier. Now I put the helmet on. Now we've got a bunch of additional barrier coming in every single time I use the cooldown, which is not bad. This is definitely one way that you could make yourself tanky using this, and there's a lot of additional ways that you can use this to your advantage. You don't necessarily have to be a Meteor Bane build. I utilized this helmet to great success during the Flame Weaver epic, which is basically utilizing the Firebolt enchantment, going through the firewall, and then getting tons and tons of procs and causing tons of meteors to fall through the actual procking effect. It actually worked out surprisingly well with the Flame Weaver gauntlets. On top of this, you might just simply be using this to, obviously add an additional cooldown to your build, which could be interesting. That way you have something else that you can spam cooldown-wise to get more cooldowns active at any time, and obviously that's going to help, getting you the barrier and other things that eventually feed off of using cooldowns. There's actually a lot of things that feed off of using cooldowns. Finding a perfect version of this, though, proves to be really challenging. A lot of the times you end up finding one and it's got really good stats, but it's got like a 10-second on the cooldown and it's just not really all that great. Or maybe you find one that's, like really nice on the cooldown reduction, but has like crappy meteor intelligence and cooldown reduction, and like the meteor size is really low. This is like the best one that I found. Like bar none. This is like the best one in like 2 seasons, basically. Like of looking, this is the best one I found, and it's actually kind of silly, especially considering you can get like greater affixes and stuff on here too, which is pretty funny. Um, I do think it's a pretty good unique and very nice for those builds who want to use Meteor. And even if you don't want to use Meteor, you can still have Meteor as an addition with this particular item. It does have some flavor text which says, "The elders say they saw a star falling from the sky many years ago, a sign from the heavens that the end of times were nigh, a rallying cry to take up arms and protect sanctuary." Crusader Hamilton. Now, if you're ever trying to figure out where to find these items, and I know I already said which one this one comes from, but if you take a look over on Diablo 4.life, you can usually put in any of these and you can figure out where they come from. So, like for instance, with this one, we know this one is the Starfall Coronet, and as you can see, it says Beast in the Ice. But if you ever want to pull this stuff up, you go to Diablo 4.life, and you just go to the Tools Target Farming, and you can punch in any of these, and it will tell you where to go to farm that particular item. As always, I do appreciate you guys and gals watching my videos, even when I'm just talking about something like the Starfall Coronet Unique. Be sure to hit that like button and the subscribe button if you enjoy the content. It really does help out the channel. And as always, keep watching.